It is the 7th of May. Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Sweeto, how you doing?
Good.
Okay, we are ready. There you go. Okay, so I got this Gemora. And just think about it. I looked through it on Shabbos. And our paint. Is that just a second? Okay. Okay, so let's what should we do? We'll take it from the top. Yeah? Boy of Rabbi Barchama. Momon hamachaybo kefil, v'potro min hachomesh. O Dilma shvua hamachayabto kefil, potarto min hachomesh. So that's the Bava of Rabbi Barchama. That's his question. That's his question. What do the words mean? Oh, you know where we're holding over here, right? We're holding at the bottom of it's just the last 3 lines of 107b. So what's the background over here? The background to this case is the background to this question is that we know there is a cloud in that when you have a chiyuv kefil, when a person is chayav kefil, we say that the payment of chomesh is going to be included in the kefil, meaning to say that he'll be, if he's chayav kefil, he'll be pater on the chomesh. And again, when is the chiyuv kefil? The chiyuv kefil is for a geneva or for somebody who claims that it was stolen from him. He's a custodian and he swears falsely on it, and he's proven to be swearing falsely on it. Then he's going to be chayav kefil. That's the scenario that we're talking about over here. Now, in that scenario, there's a rule that he's pater on the chomesh. So you might ask, so what's Rabbi Barchama's question all about? Obviously, if there's a chiyuv kefil, there is a patur on the chomesh. What's his question all about? So this is what we have to understand, what his question is all about. And basically, his question is this, that we say that kefil paters chomesh. In which case is it that a kefil paters chomesh? And we have 2 possibilities over here. And Rabbi Barchama's assumption is that one of the cases definitely will pater, the kefil will pater the chomesh. But in the other case, he understands that the kefil will not pater the chomesh. Okay, so what are the 2 cases that we are talking about? Well, we're really only talking about one case. We're talking about one case. So let's just go to the next slide of the Gemora. The Gemora says, "Hey, Dami, where what's the case that Rabbi Bar Chama's question will have an afkamina?" Meaning, depending upon how we answer his question, whether the mammon is what causes the obligation to pay kefil, or whether it is the shvua which causes the obligation to pay kefil. And now, okay. So we're trying to explain this, right? So what do we mean when we say is it the mammon which patches the kefil, or is it the shvua that patches the kefil? Those are the two possibilities that Rabbi Bar Chama has in his question. And so, in order to understand what does that mean, is it the mammon or is it the shvua? The Gemara says, "Hey, Dami, give us the case where the question will have an afkamina." And so we go back to this case that we've been discussing, but let's just say over the case another time, and like that we'll be able to go to the next step. So Heiki Dami, this is the beginning of the last line of 107b. Heiki Dami, what's the case that Rabbi Bar Chama is talking about? Okay, go on. Sheton Tadas Ganav, B'nishba. The first, remember that there's four initial steps over here in what the custodian does. The first step was that the guy gave the custodian the animal to watch. Okay, so he's a shomer chino, and now he's demanding it back. Give it back, what I gave you. And now, so the custodian is coming up with a taina. He's not giving it back. Why not? Because it was stolen. And then he makes a shvua. And we saw before. There's actually 3 different shvuas that he makes. We're not going to get into the intricacies of that, but we're just going to say he makes a shvua. He makes a shvua to back up his claim that it was stolen. Okay. Now, that's step 1. And step 2. Step 3 is that he does it about face. Chazar. He after that he goes back on his word and he says no. Toan Tadas Ava. He claims that it was lost from him. It was not stolen from him. And then he swears to that as well. Nishba. He swears that it was lost from him. Okay? Those are the 4 steps of the custodian. Now we turn the page, and a round of applause for doing page 107B for the 27th time, I think it must be.
Rabbi, could you say the 4 steps again, please?
Oh, very good.
I just want to be clear that, what exactly the 4 steps are.
4 steps are, the first step is Ton Tadas Ganav. He makes a claim. It was stolen from me. Step 2, he swears to it. Step 3, he says, no, it was lost from me. And then he swears to that.
Okay, so step 3. So step 3 include admitting that he lied?
Did he admit that he lied? Okay, let's say it does. Let's say it does.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now we turn the page and Bo Eidim, a Kamaisa, the Eidim come on the Kamaisa. What do they say? Both Rashi explains and Tosfos also agrees with Rashi. The Kishanishba Haisa Etzlo. that they testify that at the time that he made this shvua, that it was stolen from him, it was in his backyard, and therefore that makes for a chiyuv kefil, because that's the din of aton tanas ganav, that if he makes a claim that it was stolen from him, and if he swears on it, and he subsequently is proven to be a shakran on that shvua that he made, that will be a chiyuv kefil. That there is a chiyuv kefil. And if we would say that that it is the moment that's causing the chiyuv kefil, meaning the moment, meaning that it's the case of the deposit of this animal to this guy that he is now making his claims on, and it was on that account that he's chayav the kefil. So this moment caused him to be chayav kefil. So that kefil will pater the chomesh. And whatever happens after that, there's going to be a patur on the chomesh. Okay. On the other hand, if we say that no, it's not simply that the kefil obligation was caused because of there's moment over here, the deposited item, and all claims in regard to that the deposited item, if there was a chiyuv kefil that was incurred, so then that will pater any subsequent obligation of chomesh. No, let's say if we don't say that, we'll say on the other hand that no, it's the shvua which causes the chiyuv kefil. What do we mean to say? This is the confusing part over here, because in this, according to the second claim that he says that it was lost from him, the shvua, and the Gemora is going to speak this out, the shvua does not have the ability, even if he's proven that he swore falsely on that shvua, that shvua does not have the ability to cause him to be chayav kefil, because point of information, the only time there's a chiyuv kefil is if he was an actual ganav, he stole it from the house of the owner, or that he was given it to him, but he makes a claim that it was stolen from him. But if he makes a claim that it was lost from him, even if he backs it up with a shvua, and even if he's proven false on the shvua, he will not be chayav to pay kefil. That's just the din, that we're not questioning that din. So really, according to the third and the fourth thing that happened, that we spoke out, that he claimed that it was lost from him and he swore to it, there's no way that he could be chayav kefil based upon that claim and based upon that shvua. So therefore, if we say that it is the shvua which is going to be able to cause the obligation to pay kefil and thereby exempt him of the chomesh. So we'll say, well, look, in this second case, in other words, in the second part of this case, with the kfira being on the time of Bava, that it was lost from him, since that case does not involve a chiyuv kefil, therefore, when he is proven to have sworn falsely on that claim of being of it being lost from him, so then, since there's no chiyuv kefil that accrues as a result of that shvua, there will be a possibility of him being chayav for chomesh. Because when is the person chayav in chomesh? He's chayav in chomesh when he swears to a claim, and then he admits that the claim was a lie. So in this case, we actually didn't get there yet. We got to get there. So the fifth thing that happened over here was step number 5 is bo edim kamaisa. They come and testify that at the time of of his first claim, it was in his house. And then the Gemora says, Hoda Abasraisa. So that's step number 6. Step number 6 is Hoda Abasraisa, which means that he's Moda, the custodian is now Moda in regard to the Basraisa. Basraisa means the latter one. And here it's referring to his second claim. His second claim was that it was lost from him. So now what's happened over here is as he has made a hodah on his second claim, and like that, there's a possibility based upon him admitting to swearing falsely. Now he'll be chayav to bring a korban asham, which we're not talking about in this scenario, and plus he'll be chayav to pay a chomesh. Okay, so now we got a few more words, and we're gonna hopefully come out with a clear explanation of what the issue is over here by reading these words. So the Gemora says "my," and we'll just take a look at Rashi for a moment. "My" is the second line of Rashi on 1088. Dibur Maskil "my." Rashi says "Chayev Chomesh." Shvua, Basraisa, although that's the issue. Is he going to be going to be chayav a chomesh based upon the shvua that he made that it was lost from him and that he admitted to, or not? That's the only possibility for him to be chayav a chomesh, because in the Shua Kamaisa, there's no possibility for him to be chayav a chomesh. Why is that? Because in that case, there's a chiyuv kefil, and the kefil would part to the chomesh. In other words, if the only thing that happened in this case was that he swore that it was stolen, and he swore, and the witnesses came and said he had it in his house at the time that he swore that it was stolen. There'd be that would be a simple case, and he would be chayav kefil, and he would be patur on the chomesh, because if that's the only thing that happened, then the kefil, which he was chayav for, will patur him from chomesh. Now, why is it that when we add on the second part of the case, steps 3 and 4, why is it that now we have a question according to Rabbi Bachama that the Gemora is going to seek out right now? So says the Gemora. Now the Gemora is going to seek out two sides. On one side, it's going to come out that we should say that even though we have these the third and the fourth step, and the fifth and the sixth, he will be chayav kefil and also chayav chomesh, or not chayav chomesh. In other words, he's definitely going to be chayav kefil. The question is he going to also be chayav chomesh in spite of the fact that he's chayav kefil also? Says the Gemora, "My momon hamachayav to kefil patru min chomesh." Right? Do we say like we've always understood? Momon is what's machayav the kefil, and that will patru the chomesh, so there won't be a chiyuv chomesh. Now, and then the Gemara points out, "Vaha chayav le ilave kfela," and here in this momon, Ilave is referring to on this thing, meaning the animal, which is the moment of this case, he was chayav kefil. And so therefore, according to that, he should be patur from the chomesh. That should be the end of the story. Now, this alave is the same word as Lou once had a question about in the Rashi, Chayav leikfela alei, on it. What's the it that it's referring to? On the mammon. Alei high mammon, on this mammon. Now, let's explain what this means over here. It means that we have a case over here which concerns mammon, right? And there's a common denominator between the first claim that it was stolen and the second claim that it was lost from him, and that commonality between both of those claims and both of those shuas is that it was on the zelba mammon. It was on the same deposited item. It was on the same denial of responsibility for that mammon, for that cow. So it doesn't matter, according to this side, says the Gemora, whether or not he made one shvua, two shvua, three shvua, and in the first shvua, he's patur on the kefil. And in the second shvua, he's chayav on the kefil. It doesn't matter, and therefore he should be chayav on the kefil. No, it makes no difference how many shvuas he made, and whether he's chayav or patur on this shvua or that shvua, the kefil, and the chumash. If we're talking about a case, in other words, the whole case is put into one box. And that box is the box that this is the box of mammon. This mammon over here caused him to be chayav kefil. And if this mammon caused him to be chayav kefil, then he's going to be patur from chomesh. In spite of the fact that he made a second claim and a second shvua, which according to that shvua, he would be chayav to pay chomesh, because that shvua did not machayav him to pay kefil at all. Because it was a claim that it was lost from him. And you can't pay kefil on a claim that even if you swore to it and admitted to it, you will not be chayav kefil on such a claim. That's what the Gemora means when it says over here, mammon hamachayavto kefil, potro min chomesh. And the Gemora is asking it as a question. Do we say that since all of these claims and shuas were pertaining to one mammon, one deposited item, so therefore they all are put in the same box? And what that means is that the kefil obligation that he incurred as a result of this mammon will pater chomesh, whether it was from this shvua or another shvua or another shvua, makes no difference. That mammon that he was chayav, that mammon which incurred this chiyuv of kefil will pater him from chomesh. Meaning to say, whenever you have a chiyuv of kefil in a case, you'll always have a patur from chomesh. Period. That's the first side. Now we're going to go to the second side. And by the way, we all thought that this was the only side that there was. This is the simple way of understanding the story. Right? You got a case of a cow, and there's a chiyuv of kefil, and the kefil paters the chomesh. It paters it in the claim of this shvua and any other claim that he's going to make in regard to this cow. There's not going to be a chiyuv chomesh because there's a chiyuv of kefil. That's what we always thought. But Rabbi Bar Chama is introducing to us to the possibility of thinking about an alternative possibility. And according to that possibility, there will be a chiyuv chomesh, in spite of the fact that there will also be a chiyuv kefil. Now, what is that possibility? This is the next line of the Gemora. Or, says the Gemora in explaining Rabbi Bar Chama's kasha, a question, maybe we say, it's the shvua hamachayavto kefil. That's what, and thereby that chiyuv kefil as a result of that shvua, that will pater from chomesh. Now this is very confusing, admittedly, but what we mean to say over here is that in spite of the fact that this shvua over here, the second shvua, this also pertains to the same moment as the first shvua. And according to the first shvua, he was parted from the chomesh. But if we say that it doesn't go according to mammon, it goes according to each individual claim and the disposition of that claim. That there has to be a batur of chomesh in each and every single claim that's made in regard to this mammon. So here he comes up with a different claim in regard to this same cow. What's his claim? His claim is, it was lost from me. Oh, and then he swears to it, and then he admits to it that he lied. So in this case, so there, Gemora says, Gemora is going to pick it up right now. This shvua that he said that it was lost from him, he swears to that. Since that shvua does not have the ability to be mechayev him in paying kefil, as we have explained, because it's a claim of avad. Therefore, if we say that it's the shvua, each individual shvua has the ability to obligate him in kefil, and thereby pater him from chomesh, and alternatively, that if it doesn't mechayev him kefil, like this second shvua does, therefore, accordingly, says the Gemora, t'chayve humsha, he will accordingly be chayev in the chomesh. So according to the second side, we're analyzing the case as according to each individual shvua. Even though, in other words, according to the first shvua, he was parted from chomesh, but now that doesn't preclude him from making another claim and another shvua, which can be mechayev him in paying chomesh. And if we say that that's the way we look at this din of kefil being poter chomesh, we'll say it goes according to each individual claim and the shvua that accompanies it. So therefore, since this shvua did not mechayev him kefil, it has the ability to be mechayev him chomesh. And it will be mechayev him chomesh in spite of the fact that the first shvua did not. No, the first shvua didn't mechayev him chomesh, right? But this one did. So therefore, if we go according to this second side, he's going to end up being chayav to pay kefil and also pay chomesh. Any questions?
The second explanation seems to me to make perfect sense.
Okay, good.
The first explanation, however, is a little bit problematic because there was one little point where the words kind of started to dance around. And that was when we said that in the first case where it's mammon, when he swears that it was lost and then he denies, because it's mammon, he's not obligated in the fifth, even though he swore that it was lost, and that normally obligates him in the fifth. How do we get out of the fact that he should be obligated in the fifth, in the 1/5, from the second oath in the first case?
Okay. Right. In other words, if you split up the claims in this one case, so it seems very clear that even though he wasn't chayav to pay chomesh according to the first claim, he is chayav to pay chomesh according to the second claim. So why shouldn't he be chayav to pay chomesh based upon the fact that he made a second claim? And according to that claim, he should be chayav chomesh. So what we're saying is, we're saying that this principle that we have a din that Chumash is exempted when there's a payment of kefil. So we're saying, when does that statement apply? Now, according to the first side, we're saying that statement applies whenever when it applies, in other words, that all-encompassing statement applies that whenever you have a chiyuv kefil, you'll have a patur chomish. How far? Which box is that we're putting that statement into? The box that we are putting that statement into is the box of this moment. It was this moment that caused that chiyuv kefil. What's that moment is the deposited item. So since in regard to that deposited item, there was a chiyuv kefil, so now even if there's going to be another contrary claim that it was lost, and a shvua on it, and an admission on that shvua, that's not going to change the fact that in regard to this moment, there was a chiyuv kefil that was incurred. And since there's a chiyuv kefil that was incurred on this moment, so the rule of kefil patrin chomesh will apply, because what's the parameters of this rule that kefil paters chomesh? There's got to be in the same box. How is, in other words, kefil went into this box and chomesh went into this box. Oh, well, if kefil went into the box, so then kefil kicks out the chomesh that it wants to come into that box. What's that box called? One mammon, one cow. The chomesh and the kefil were incurred as a result of that one cow. That's the box. So in that box, if there's kefil in that box, it repels the chomesh from that box. That's the first side.
And what's the box in the second side?
The second box is that we say, I see you like this mushroom with box, yeah?
Yeah, it's helping. It's helping.
Now, so where's the box that's pointing to the second side? Where's the box? That's the issue. So over here, we have to say that how do we have to describe the box? We've got to say like this. This story is not just about one box. Let's imagine you have a briefcase and it has a place over here and a place over there and a place over there to put things. So wherever you put things in that briefcase, you've got it. And the fact that you don't have it in the first compartment in the briefcase doesn't preclude you from having it in the second compartment in the briefcase. So, according to the second side, the shvua is the thing which incurs the chiyuv kefil. What does that mean? That means that in the first compartment, you've got a case of ton tanas ganav. It was stolen. Very nice. According to that claim, so the shvua is going to exempt since there's a chiyuv kefil in that case, the kefil is going to exempt the chomesh. So in that in that first compartment in the briefcase, the kefil is going to say, Chumash, get out of here, go. Okay, so the Chumash got to run away. Can't be any Chumash in that compartment. But there's another compartment in this briefcase, and that compartment is the second Shua. And the second Shua is of a taina of Avad, and a Shua that it was Avad. And over there, there's no kefil in that compartment. There's no kefil. So what happens? The Chumash just slips right into that compartment, and there's no kefil over there to shoo him away. So he stays in that compartment in the briefcase.
So in the first case, you've got a box with only one compartment. In the second case, you have a briefcase with two compartments.
Right, right.
Two compartments in the second case are the two oaths, the two shavuos.
Right.
And the first case, the reason you don't have two is because you're only talking about value, mammon.
It's because both shuas fit into that one. There's only one box for the both shuas to go into.
Because they're both talking about mammon.
Right, right. Exactly.
So just talking about mammon. Mm-hmm. So he incurred the kefil at step 3 when he admitted that he lied, correct?
No. He incurs kefil when the witnesses come and he's proven to be a liar on the first shua.
That's step 5.
Right.
Step 5.
Right. Somebody who admits he's actually, this is getting into a difficulty what you're raising here now. If it's called an admission already that he well, no, see, it's not. No, it's no. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so in other words, this person only incurs a chiyuv to pay kefil because he wasn't an actual ganav. He didn't steal it from the house of the depositor. The depositor gave it to him willingly. So he's got a din of a toan tanas ganav only at the point that that it's proven that he swore falsely on his shvua that it was stolen from him.
Uh-huh.
So that's the 5th step. That's when the chiyuv kefil accrues.
And the 1/5 comes into the 6th step when he admits that he did not lose it.
Now, when he's moda abasraisa, when he's moda that he swore false on the second shvua, that's the point at which he's chayav to pay chomish.
Okay. I think I understand it. I'm not sure. I think I see what you're talking about with your muscle about the two compartments. When you're talking about oaths, there's two different oaths. Each oath carries its rules.
Okay.
But when you're talking about, so it's a perspective when you're talking about the value versus the oath. It's a perspective.
Right. In other words, we again, we know that the kefo paters homish. We have that as a given, and we agree on that. But Rabbi Barhama is asking a question: when does that principle apply? And he's giving us two choices.
Right.
And he's assuming that it doesn't apply in one of those cases.
But it's only one or the other that is the true perspective.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Throw the other one out. And we don't know which one to throw out yet.
Right. All we have done so far in the Gemora is we've wanted to understand what Rabbi Barhama's question is all about. That's all we've done. The next step in the Gemara is Toshma. We're going to bring a proof which side is the correct perspective.
Got it.
Unless you want to do all the three Tosim on the page.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi. This was a good session.
Baruch Hashem. Chazde Hashem. Thanks for listening.
Okay, Kol Tuv.
All the best. Everybody have a great day. Bye, Roy. Bye, Phil. And Alan.
Roy, Neve Yaakov is a neighborhood in Jerusalem.